Welcome to Times Network. We are at FII and we have with us the former Italian Prime Minister. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, via Zoom. I wish we could see you here in Riyadh.
It's a very great pleasure and the honor to be here with you now. I was in Riyadh just until tonight. Then I come back to my Italy. I'm in Milano, but I'm very excited for the great job in Riyadh last days with the 8th edition of Future Investment Initiative.
How was your experience here?
Well, I believe I was prime minister 10 years ago, and I remembered what really in Saudi the first steps of the radical change, which is the very leadership, great leadership of Mohammed bin Salman gave to this country. 10 years ago, probably we saw the first signals. And now, in the last 10 years, in the last 8 years, with the addition of a Future Investment Initiative, every year is a new step in direction of a great change with the approach of Vision 2030. That means one thing: Saudi Arabia tried to be not only a giant of the past, but also a giant of the future. And Future Investment Initiative became, for my experience as former Prime Minister of Italy, a great platform of dialogue between the West and East, North and South, past and the future. That is the very great value asset of this event. It's not an event, it's this platform.
Since we are on that topic, Italy and India have been great friends, and of course, the current Prime Minister is also doing a great job at that. What would you like to say about the relationships with India?
I believe for my country, India is an historical partner. Thinking about my city, I was a prime minister, but before to become prime minister, I was mayor of Florence. And one of the most important places, the Cascines Park, the most important and beautiful park in Florence, have the most important statue is not a Renaissance statue, but is a statue dedicated to Indiano, the Indian prince who died in Florence, and is a symbol of a part of our city. So we have a dialogue, a relation, a continuous exchange, very great. Our prime minister and your prime minister have a special relation. We joke about melody. I don't belong to the party of my prime minister because she's a far-right prime minister.
Yes.
I'm center-left, but I have a great respect for this dialogue. And I think that is very good point. After some years of criticism, after some years of polemics, finally Italy and India could do a great job in every single dossier. And so I was just some weeks ago in Mumbai for the Ambani's wedding in India. I spent a lot of times in India in my life. I think the relation between Italy and India could be huge and have to be huge, and I'm very optimistic about that.
Absolutely. And let's talk about a little bit about the investment also. Why do you think at this stage India is the best place to invest in?
India is the most populous country in the world. India knew an huge growth in every sector. The quality of engineering is great. The quality of manufacturing is so important. And at the same time, some of the most important infrastructures from traditional steel and traditional materials with the new thinking about data, big data, data center, IoT, and etc., could be a very most important opportunity and the topic of exchange with every country of the world, because India is the number one as population and with a great history. At the same time, Italy is a country not so big as India. We are only 60 million, so we are absolutely less than you, but we have an historical relation and also some potentials, opportunities of cooperation, which are really incredible. I don't think only about the traditional fields. We discussed about culture, that is true, of course, and I'm so proud. The most important conductor in the music, classic music director is the Zubin Mehta. Zubin Mehta is in my city, is honorary citizens of my Florence, but also in the new ways, things about biofuel, renewables, data center, artificial intelligence, generative artificial intelligence. Really, there is a great field of cooperation. The real question is probably to increase the dialogue and increase the opportunities of exchange. And for that is not is very important to use every type of public platform, thinking about the relation between governments, but also private platforms and NGO platforms, and of course, platform as the platform of FII, which is probably one of the best around the world.
Let's talk a little bit about AI and technology also, because in the last 5-10 years, we have seen a lot of advancements in the field of AI. So how do you think it has benefited business overall, globally?
Artificial intelligence will change everything in the productivity, in the GDP, but also in the borders of human life, human experience. The people who follow the quality and the debates, the quality of debates here in Riyadh and in general in a lot of events around the world, understood how is crucial to have a strategic approach to AI. AI probably will be able to solve some healthcare problems. And that is great. Healthcare probably will help us to destroy cancer in the next 10 years. But at the same time, we know we have to understand what is the border for human being, because generative artificial intelligence could be the first source of intelligence who come not from a human being but from algorithm. So we have to work together. That have to be a very clear point. Exactly as in the every type of scientific revolution, the peoples of around the world have to compete for the research, but at the same time cooperate. And in that framework, I believe we have two assets in Italy and in India. Is first of all is the universities system, Politecnico di Milano or Bocconi di Milano are between the most important universities in Europe. And at the same time, India show the quality of engineering so big. Then you became the a country who gave the birthplace to the most important CEOs in the Silicon Valley's company. Thinking about from Microsoft to Google, how are the Indians guys who became boss of the great companies around the world.
Yes.
So that means the brain is a very important thing for Italians and Indians. We have to try to find a new way of cooperation, and particularly that have to be clear for Italy and India, because our traditional relations is a relation of cooperation and friendship.
Speaking about India and your stay here, what is it that you love the most about India? Any favorite place or food since you have spent some time here?
I believe India is an experience not easy to collect in only one word. And when I was a child, I remember when I was Boy Scout, the books of Kipling or the great storytelling about Indian princes or the adventures. But at the same time, for a man who believed in politics, the great experience of Mahatma Gandhi, or at the same time, the great results of engineering, when I think what could happen in the aerospace or in the navigation, I think India could be a player with absolutely strong impact in the life of every day. And if I think about my country, I remember the navigations guys, the first navigators come from Italy, thinking about the name of America. America come from Amerigo, who was a Florentine navigator, Amerigo Vespucci, who for the first gave the name to America. For me, it's interesting if Indians and Italians together could try to give the name to the future. That is the great challenge. About food, I have to be very honest with you. I love Indian food, but I prefer Italian food. And that is very interesting because also in the food, we can have a competition and a cooperation. I love cricket if I don't understand very well the rules. And at the same time, I love the passion of Indian guys for soccer, football, and Italian cooperation. And I hope some Indian entrepreneurs could become owner of Italians teams, because I think we live in a new world. So I love India. I love your passion for the life, for the great quality of life. And I think for that, we can do a lot of things together. I believe also Indians love Italians' lifestyle. And for that, the priority for our government, for our businessmen, for our entrepreneurs, and also for our academic and researchers will be try to find new ways of cooperation, particularly between the new generations.
Absolutely. And one last question to you. Any message that you want to give to young entrepreneurs?
I give this message, please believe in the future. Okay, we know we have a lot of potential risks. Thinking about artificial intelligence, thinking about geopolitics. We discussed in Riyadh a lot about the risks of geopolitics or technology or the global crisis. But at the same time, you are young, you are entrepreneur, you believe in the future. And in this project of the future, please consider part of your life failure. Don't think a problem could block your ideas, your dreams, your projects. That have to be very clear. In my little experience, in my humble experience, I started from zero. I'm self-made man. I became prime minister, the youngest in the history of Italy, at 39 years old. I had great victories and I had great defeats, but every day I start in my experience to try to compete again, to work, to run, to believe in what I can do. The same have to be for entrepreneurs. And please consider Italy a place very fit for your dreams, because Italy is a country with great values, open to the cooperation, and at the same time, a place in which everyone is a citizen of the world. So Indian guys, please come to Italy to try to do something together, and at the same time, open your doors to Italian entrepreneurs. Together, we can do a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to Times Network. Thanks a lot, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much to you. Please enjoy FII.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Okay.
Ciao. See you next time in presence and next time.
Yes, I hope so. Yes.
Grazie Priya. Grazie Justin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.